everyone, it's Amanda. I'm in my studio and I was about to get out things to get ready to paint something, and I thought it would be fun to paint live here on my Facebook page and let you guys join me. So I've got out my inspiration photo, and I like to use, this is a book that I found. I don't even remember where I found it now, but it's just a lot of different, it's mostly about floral arranging is what the purpose of the book is, but I like to find inspiration pieces in here and then take those and turn it into a painting that it never looks like the actual photo. So this is what I'm gonna be painting from, but it's not gonna look like this when I get done. This is just what I'm gonna pull shape and ideas from, if that makes any sense. So I've got a lot of stuff out here on my table, and I'm also gonna be painting in my sketchbook. This is a Kansan Art Book 180, I believe is what it's called. And several people have asked me about it, and I can't find it anymore. So I don't know if it's been discontinued or what, but this is I really like the sketchbook, and I hope that they'll make some more of them because it lays flat, so I can paint all the way across. But anyway, I'm gonna turn my camera around and we're gonna start painting. So just hang with me for just a second. It might get a little crazy for a minute. Okay, let's come back down this way. And so I've got my colors out already that I'm going to be using. I can straighten this up a little. All right, let me see if I can see myself on my computer so I can see comments, because if I've got my camera turned around this way, I can't see your comments. If I do this, then I can. Okay. Very good. So I'm going to start out with just like a wash, because that's what I usually do. And I don't have my brushes out. When I'm painting on paper, I use a lot more water than I do if I'm painting on canvas. And honestly, I've been painting on paper a whole lot the past few years. Mostly because I don't have a whole lot of room in my studio anymore for canvases. And when I paint on paper, or I paint like this in a sketchbook, I have lots more room to store it. So if you're not planning to sell your work, I highly recommend sketchbooks and paper. Even if you are going to sell your work, I would practice on paper because it frees you up as far. Alrighty. Let's get some more light. I still feel like this is a little wonky, but there we go. Alrighty. So I've got a red, a blue, and a yellow. And those are the colors that we're going to use to mix everything that we're going to do in this one. And I'm just really working on coming up with some ideas. I like to paint in my sketchbook first, and then if I really like what I've created, I will possibly turn it into a painting that is a more permanent situation. Let's grab some brushes here. right, so I got my black and my white and blue, red, and yellow. And like I said, I'm using this as an inspiration. And when I say that, I seriously mean that. It's not, when I finish, it's not gonna look like this. It's gonna be something totally different. Not totally different, but it's gonna be different. All right. Paper towel. And I think we're ready now. Kellen said that's what I need to do more of. Sketchbook first for practice. Yeah, I used to feel like I was wasting my time when I did that, but now I've learned that I do a better job if I paint something once. Let me think, how do I want to do this? If I paint something once and then go back and paint it again, it's usually better that next time. Okay. It's kind of like the first time you do it is, especially if you paint the way that I do, it's kind of a trial and error type situation, and you don't really know 100% how it's going to turn out. Okay, so in my inspiration picture, there's a big flower here and a big one over here. One thing about sketchbooks though is this little ditch here in the middle. It's a little bit of a challenge to get past that. But another thing that used to really annoy me was that it was just me not knowing any better. I would try to paint something and people would, well, this, I shouldn't say annoy. That's not the right word. It would bother me because I would try to paint something and I would do it on canvas and sell it. And then someone else would tell me that they wanted one too. And so I would end up trying to paint another one that would be just like it. And it would never turn out the way that the first one was. So it started to kind of scare me, if for lack of a better word, that I couldn't reproduce the exact same thing when I wanted to. And so that one fear really kept me from using sketchbooks, because I was thinking, well, what if I paint something really good and then I can't reproduce that again because it's happened before? But the more you paint, the more you're going to experiment and realize what you did. You're going to feel more comfortable and you're going to know what you did to get that result. Make things a little better. But at this point, I don't want to replicate things that closely. You know, I don't want any two of my paintings to look exactly the same. So I hope that makes sense. That kept me from using my sketchbooks or just paper in general as much as I probably should have. That's going to need to be darker. In the beginning, anyway. This pink is a lot brighter than what I normally use, but that's kind of what's going on here in this inspiration photo anyway, so I'm gonna just try it and see what happens, because I'm working in my sketchbook and I allow myself to try things in the sketchbook that I wouldn't necessarily do otherwise. And I'm just looking at shape and trying to think about shape and value rather than all the little details right now. So I hope that makes sense. Kellen says, that's how I feel. It's also the fear of messing up and wanting my painting to look exactly what I want it to look like from the get-go. Yeah, I understand that too. That's why, like, going into this, that's why I said from the very beginning, when I finish this, it's not going to look exactly like this photo here. And I already know that. I said it out loud so that I know it and you know it. I'm going to put in more green than what's in the original one too. So if you're one of my creative community members, can you tell me what my mother color is in this one? We just talked about it yesterday in our Q&A time, mother color and what that means and how to use it. Okay. Kellen says, I've got to stop wanting it to look perfect. Letting go of perfectionism thinking. Yes, that's a great mindset to have. It's not easy. Some people look at paintings that are really loose and think, I could do that. That's really easy. But once you start trying it, it's a lot harder than it seems. It's definitely doable. You can learn to do it, but it's not super easy. Kellen says, is it the magenta color? Yes, that is my mother color. So far, I've put a little bit of this in everything. I want to make sure you guys know about my workshop that begins on Monday, April the 28th. It's called The Art of Letting Go. Kind of goes along with what we've been talking about already. And I'm going to be painting with you all week. It's a 5-day workshop. It's only $10. And you can sign up at artbyamandahilburn.com/workshop. It's the easiest way to get there. Or you can just go to artbyamandahilburn.com and the pink button at the top will take you to the sign up page. So we're going to be painting loose florals. You're going to be painting with me for 5 days in a private Facebook group. Or if you don't want to get on Facebook to do it, you can if you're watching me right now, you're on Facebook, but if you'd rather just see the replays without being in the Facebook group, I have an option for you to do that also. I want to make sure you don't miss out on that, and I wanted to let you know about it in case you didn't. Okay. I feel like you're way up high. Let me bring you down a little bit lower. I don't know why my camera's all wonky today. Let's see if that helps a little. I actually already like this a lot, just like this. And the more loosely I begin painting, the more I'm okay with stopping and looking at it and taking it in, and then I keep going. That's another thing that I used to do a lot was I would overwork things because I didn't know when to quit, honestly. Okay, let's put a little brighter green in here now. Kind of covered up some of my container there, so I'm gonna put it back in. And one thing you may want to keep in mind is that when you're painting like this in a very loose style, like what I'm doing, the layering, knowing that you're going to be adding more layers and adding more layers helps you to loosen up a little bit more too. So it's almost like it gives you permission to just put something down and know it's going to be okay, because I can paint over that again if I need to, and I'm going to be adding more layers. So there's no need to worry about it. I'm going to try using my left hand. Do you guys ever do that? Use your non-dominant hand to see what happens? Acrylic paint dries darker. So as this pink begins to dry, I can definitely see that it's darker, and there's some places where you can kind of see through it. It's transparent. And so adding more It's going to give me more depth, but it's also going to give me more value. Try not to overthink, because some of these in the photo are just kind of an afterthought in the background. They're not really detailed at all, but some of them are. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail though. Okay, now I've got to decide if I want to add, do I want to add another flower in there? And I think I want to add a blue one. In this reference photo that I'm using here, they've got these really bright pink. I think those are sweet peas, but I think we got enough pink going on here. So I want to add some blue. I'm also gonna, let me do this first. I'm gonna use some yellow ochre in the center of some of these. Just go ahead and get that put in there. Also going to put it down here. I don't like the yellow that I've got here, so we're going to change it. I was thinking more like brass is what I was going for here, but it turned kind of a greeny color and I didn't anticipate that. So we're going to let that dry and then we'll come back to that. Let's see, what was I doing? Okay, yeah, the little blue flowers. Kellen says, when do you paint? Do you have a set time to be in your studio? I used to set certain days that I did painting and certain days that I did like administrative work, and that worked for a little while. But it doesn't always work out. And right now, I just kind of paint whenever. I don't have a schedule. I work 5 days a week, though. I mean, I do have some sort of something going on where I'm in my studio, either working from my computer or painting, or I'm doing something Monday through Friday. And sometimes I paint on the weekends just for me, not necessarily for work. But yeah, it's hard to, once you start doing this, it's hard to break up the time or to make time for painting for fun versus make time for, painting should be fun no matter what. But sometimes when you're working on something that is something you got to sell, or something, for me, it would be for licensing or something like that. It's not necessarily the same as what I'm doing right now. This is just for fun. This is just for me. And it's different. This may turn into something more that I could use for licensing or a class or whatever. But right now, I'm not thinking about any of those things. So to answer your question, I just randomly paint. I don't have a set schedule. My reference photo does not have a shadow, but I feel like I want to have one. So I'm going to do that with this blue while I've got it out. Also, to answer Kellen's question, I sometimes paint every day. And then I'll go through little spurts where I'm not painting at all. So it really just depends on what's going on with the classes that I'm teaching or just life in general. Sometimes I paint daily, sometimes I paint once or twice a week, but I don't really have a set schedule. It might be a good thing for me to do though, because it would probably help me stay on track and come up with some new ideas more easily. You see how much darker all the pinks are now? Let's tap some of that lighter yellow in there. Use a different brush and see what kinds of marks I can get with it. And I've completely stopped looking at my reference photo now, so I'm just putting in what I think I need. Maybe I'll put a little bit of pink down here. Or over here. And now my blue is the blue flowers we did. They have dried a little bit and they're a little darker. So we're going to add a little more of a highlight to them. And punch those up a little. I don't want to cover up all of my dark blue though. And now I'm going to go back to my green. Okay, so I think I'm going to stop there. This is my inspiration piece, and then this is what I ended up with. How long have we been painting? Can I see a timer? I don't see a timer. It used to tell me on my live videos how long I've been on here, but I have no idea. But this was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gave you some inspiration and maybe some ideas, and show you that you don't have to paint something that looks exactly like your reference photo. You can make it your own. You can turn it into whatever you want it to be. You can change colors. You can make it really loose. And working in a sketchbook like this really helps me to let go of the fear of messing up something like a canvas, and just know that now that I've done this, I know what colors I used. I can make note of those if I want to, and I can do this again, and I will probably do a better job when I do it the second time, because that's just the way it works for me anyway at this point in time. So, okay, Kellen says less than 30 minutes. Yeah, and that's the way I like to do this. I hate to spend hours and hours and hours on a painting. Let me turn you back around. Maybe. I think I can do it. Hang on. When I'm working on a painting and it takes me hours to complete, I'm going to, number one, get bored with it. Number two, get frustrated with it. And I don't want to do that. So I really like to paint loosely and fast like this. Usually my tutorials that I do for my membership last anywhere from 20 to 45 minutes at the most. And it's because painting for fun and painting more loosely and painting a little bit fast like this, to me, is so much more enjoyable than picking at every little detail and trying to get everything perfect, because you're never going to get it perfect. And it's a lot more fun when you do it this way. But anyway, I just wanted to invite you to my workshop. It starts on Monday, 5 days of painting with me. We're going to be doing things similar to this. We're going to paint. I have 2 full pre-recorded tutorials. This one is the first one. We're going to paint these lilies. The second one is this one. We're putting it together with some roses. And then there also will be 3 live sessions in the Facebook group where I'll be talking about color, and we're talking about loosening up, and we're going to talk about all the things that I can possibly pack into this workshop to help you to loosen up, because it's called the art of letting go, and that's what the whole purpose of the workshop is, to paint more loosely, loosen up your brush strokes as well as your mindset. It's only $10, and I will make sure I put a link here for you if you want to join us. We're going to start the 28th of April, and it ends on May the 2nd, but you'll have through May the 8th to watch all of the replays. So if you're not there for the live sessions, it's okay. You can watch the replays and catch up on that. Also, if you have been waiting for my membership to open up, it will open up on Monday to workshop participants first. And then on May the 1st, it will open up to everyone else. And if you are in the workshop and you've paid the $10 and you decide you want to join the membership, you guys will get a coupon code to get that $10 off of your first month in my membership. The membership in May, we're going to be painting 12 different flowers in a loose style. Let me show you. So I've got them all here. A few years ago, we did a workshop where I taught how to paint each birth month flower, and they were done on here. You can see them underneath. They're not quite as loose. Well, this time we're going to paint all of the birth month flowers in a very loose style with different backgrounds. We're going to talk about color and all of the things. So this will be our tutorials for May in my membership will be all of these 12 flowers plus another Q&A session. So we're going to do 4 at a time. The first tutorial will be the first 4 flowers, then the next 4, and then the last 4. So I'm really excited about that, and I think everyone's going to really enjoy it. Kim says, I'm so excited. Can you tell us about your CC group? So my membership is, I've had it for going on 8 years now, and everything that I have ever taught in the history of my teaching is in my membership in a library. So you can, once you join, you can access, sorry, there's going to be a fire truck going by. The membership library has everything from the past in it. I also teach new things every month. We have 2 full tutorials, 2 live sessions, and it's $37 a month, or if you join for the year, it's $370. So you'll get 2 months for free if you join for the year. Someone asked a question. Okay, Kim said, how much is the membership? I just went over that. Someone's asking about the loose white roses. So I think you're saying you've joined the workshop just to learn to paint the loose white roses. And that's what they're going to look like. So the first day, Monday, we're going to do this tutorial here, and it's going to be pre-recorded in the workshop. The second day will be live, and I'm going to teach you how to paint the roses in the live session. And we're going to talk about color choices and why I chose the colors that I did for these tutorials, and how you can use color and plan out some things ahead of time to make sure you get good results when you paint. And then we'll have this pre-recorded tutorial will be on day 3. Then we'll have 2 more live sessions on Thursday and Friday. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I've packed everything I can think of into this workshop to help you to loosen up. There's also a download that you'll get once you join the workshop that is a list of 15 things for you to do that will help you to loosen up. And you can keep that in your paint area, wherever you usually paint, in your studio or whatever, to help you to remember the things that we're going to go over in the workshop. Oh, I see. Okay. And I'm sorry I can't pronounce your name. She says, I'm sorry, I meant I just painted 4 of the loose white roses that were the bonus class. Okay, I understand what you're saying now. So if you go to the page where you can register for the workshop, I've also got a bonus lesson there for $10 more that helps you to paint abstract roses. And we did that class, I don't know if that was last year or the year before. So it is an additional bonus that you can purchase, and I'm glad that you enjoyed that. That's exciting. Norma says the membership is the best thing I ever did for my creativity. Thank you so much for saying that. That's a huge compliment. And Norma is always such a great encourager. So everyone who is already a member of my creative community will be in the Facebook group for the workshop also. And these ladies are all super encouraging and helpful, and you're going to get to meet some of them if you join the workshop too. All right, I don't see any other questions, so I'm going to go for today, but I will hopefully see you on Monday in the workshop. I'm going to put a link down below, and I will see you next time. Bye.